Right. We just have got one affirmation, which I would like to deal with this morning so that we can concentrate this afternoon on the AGM and our speaker panel. So I'm just going to take a few minutes before we have lunch to read the affirmation to you. So I'll go over here. Lovely. So our resolutions are often ahead of their time, and we continue over the years to campaign about issues that our members feel strongly about. We often say when we think about our resolutions and look back over them that NCW is in it for the long haul. I think that's often really the case. So Dr. Maureen Beecham, one of our long-term members, has requested that we reaffirm the resolution that was put forward in 2026, so nearly 20 years ago, concerning planning for water resources. And we're all aware how important, obviously, water is as a core resource, but obviously how badly it's managed, and particularly we've seen examples of that in the last year, particularly in this climate-affected summer. So we therefore wish to reaffirm the original resolution in its entirety. The resolution was originally put forward by the NCW Health and NCW Science and Technology Committees. It was proposed by Maureen Beecham and seconded by Patience Purdy, who was a past president of NCW. So the original resolution reads as follows: the National Council of Women in conference assembled, aware that adequate water supply is essential in sustaining human, animal and plant life, aware that there are potential threats to water supply from global warming and climate change, that was 20 years ago, aware that droughts and floods in the United Kingdom are becoming more frequent, and aware that there's an increasing demand for water, urge Her Majesty's government to take action to improve the future supply and efficient use of water by ensuring that residential buildings, hotels, apartments and houses are built with facilities to catch and store water and systems to recycle it, including the building of underground tanks. That all industrial companies, in particular those that use large quantities of water during production and manufacture, have incentives to minimize its use and systems to recycle it where possible. And thirdly, that water companies maintain drains and pipes to reduce water loss to acceptable minimums. So we wish to reaffirm this resolution in its entirety. The recent Water Act of 2025, which has come into effect, does not address the first 2 points of this resolution about building water storage in new homes, or the point about providing incentives to businesses to minimize and recycle water. If we think about what we hear about the amount of water that is used in these huge computer processing plants, that's increasingly relevant. While the government is beginning to make steps and members of the public are putting forward ideas about water resources, there's still an urgent need to address our water industry and policy. So in the light of the original resolution having gone forward in 2026, the government needs to be urged to do more. We therefore stand by the wording of this resolution and wish to reassert our conviction that the government needs to take this issue seriously. So we don't normally have discussion or debate about a reaffirmation. And I think, if I may, given the timing, suggest that we don't. But could we perhaps have just a vote to confirm that we reaffirm this resolution in its entirety? And maybe it's a topic that we can take up at a later point as we see the collusion of climate change and the increased use of water. Is that okay with everyone? Can I just ask you to raise your hands to agree with the reaffirmation? And those of you online, that's great. Lovely. Any abstentions? No? Anyone against reaffirming the resolution? No. Great. Fabulous. Thank you so much, everyone. Well, what an amazing morning. What an invigorating morning. What a lot of subjects we've covered, but also what a lot of intersections between the topics that we've been talking about. I think that's what becomes increasingly interesting and apparent to us as we talk about so many of these issues. So thank you for your participation, involvement, passion about these issues. We'll break for lunch and start again at just after 2 o'clock. But if we can get back to 2, that would be fabulous. So thank you, everyone.